Hello friends, my name is Shibit. Thank you for coming back to see me. I'm here to show you a quick flip through of this TN sized insert. This was actually a custom order that somebody who had seen my woodland journals liked that style, and she said could I do a mix of that style and some kind of vintage floral themes. Unfortunately I didn't hear back from her, so I have this insert which is not my usual kind of size to make, but that's why I've got this one. So I decided after a few weeks I'm just going to put this on the Etsy shop, so you can find it there if you're interested. So I thought I would just show you how it looks in an actual cover. So if you just bear with me, I'll slot it in here. This green section is my notebook, so you can kind of ignore that. This is the one that's for sale. It fits quite nicely in there. What she asked for was if I could make it about an inch thick, so if I just press it down a little bit, like it would be with the elastic around, so that kind of measures 1 inch. And I've just done it so that the lace and the little bits stick out a little way. So that's what it looks like. And I'll just show you a quick flip through now. So because it's a limited size, because it's going in a set sized cover, I decided to just use quite thin papers as much as I could. I've used some scrapbook paper for the cover, so it's one signature of course, but the rest of the papers I've used quite thin materials. There's a glassine envelope to keep your easy to access bits, washi tape, whatever that you like to keep at the start. I've done a little card to keep there, just machine stitched around this little flip, and also a big pocket here. Got some machine stitching and this lovely Alice in Wonderland vintage image. There's a flip. So it's mostly tea-dyed kind of vintage nature images. Probably a little bit less decorated than my usual woodland ones, just so that there's plenty of writing space. And with the journaling cards, where I would normally back them with a second layer to make them stronger, I decided to just leave them one layer so it's a bit thinner, and that way I can give you a bit more quantity of pages also. So here's one of these little vintage tags with a dictionary quote definition. There's a magnet pocket with this pretty vintage book image tag. Some collaging. There's a pocket with this sweet little poem on there. Pocket with some ephemera back there. There's a little file folder insert thing, some machine stitching, doily pages, tracing paper. Here's a little cotton tape. There's another magnet flip for some extra writing space, and some fabric layers here. So I've used this thin vellum a few times. It has this nice kind of ivy pattern on it. I'm not sure if you can see that. Just means that you're not adding too much bulk when size is limited like this. So I've used this vintage manuscript, music manuscript there, some handmade paper, another pocket, vintage tea card. I found this old book that has this really beautiful thin vintage paper. It's almost like Bible paper. It's really crisp and lovely to touch. So I've used that a couple of times. There's another magnet pocket here in vellum again, and some little note papers. And there's a tuck behind here for a little space for journaling cards. The tuck space. There's I've forgotten what that's called. It's not mulberry paper, but one of those types of things. And this is kind of like scrapbook paper, but not as thick. It's quite a thin, it's like thick paper more than cardstock. So I've made a double pocket for the middle. This vellum again, with machine stitching lines for writing, and I really like the way you can see the flower paper behind that. It's almost like looking through a window. It looks pretty. So in this centre I've got some writing practice, little tracing paper image, vintage picture, and then again on that side with the flowers. Looks pretty. So that's the other pocket, and in there is just a business card, some extra paper for writing. There's another flip for extra space, and a magnet and a button. There's a little tuck with a birdie, some vintage cards in there, slotted in. Another magnet flip. And that lovely quote that I like to use a lot, especially for the woodland ones. That's another vellum library pocket with a tag. In here I've done, there's a botanical vintage image there, and I've done 3 little tags in a set. This one's got a little fairy image in there. This is just lines, and this has got a little paper clip. There's one of these tags with the tag sewn on with stitching. Some doily paper. And the pocket here. Another quote is a flip for extra space. Magnet. Tracing paper pocket, vintage card, little journaling card with stitching, and some postage stamps. This is DigitalRefugium, she's called, on Etsy. Makes these lovely seed packets, and I've done a little card to fit in there to write on, and some linen threads. Just try to keep everything on the thin side so that you're not bulking up too much for this type. There's a poem here, and a little beaded clip, and some lace. Metallic, this is really pretty, has some gold metallic thread through it, and that kind of just sticks out when you close it. and looks pretty. So you've got these ribbons and little beaded charms to stick out. Like so. And there's a little envelope and another bead there. Oops, there we go. So I'll just take it out so that you can see it properly, I think, without the cover. And just slip that out of the way. So this is it. Thank you everyone for watching. See you next time. Bye.